What's going on, guys, and welcome to Who to Sign For. Now in this series I'm giving you my recommendations on what players to sign for a specific team in career mode. Before we go on, I will say that the signings you'll see aren't designed to be realistic, and I can't stress that enough, and the player ratings and potentials of the players may vary depending on what database you're using and how they perform for you during the season. Obviously you don't have to follow all the tips. This is really just a set of guidelines to give you a hand if you're stuck for ideas and want some suggestions on what players you could sign for a certain club. This is mainly aimed at those you out there who may be new to the game or just need a little bit of advice, or for those you out there who want a few recommendations on what players to sign for a team that you may be using in career mode this year. So in today's episode of Who to Sign For, guys, we've done the playoff winners, we've done the runners up, and now we take a look at the championship champions, Fulham, who are heading back to the Premier League after a 1 year absence. An immediate return for the lads from West London. And Fulham, man, what a fantastic team to do a FIFA career mode with. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you'll know I love stadiums, and I've mentioned before, one of my all-time favourite stadiums I've been privileged to visit on more than one occasion, Craven Cottage. Absolutely beautiful old ground in West London. It's in the game, and for next season they might have the redeveloped stadium included. I don't know, but they'll definitely have Craven Cottage in the game next year. So you've got the great stadium in the game. They're a West London team, so you've got great West London rivals in Chelsea, and just London rivals all over, of course. They're a team with fantastic recent history of producing really good young talent, and in the championship they are one of the best teams you can manage. You are looking for an instant return to the Premier League. You're asked to win the league title in season 1, just like Fulham have done in real life, and they've got an amazing transfer budget for a championship side. After wage budget alteration, it's around 20 million. Yep, this team are just set up for an RTG absolutely perfectly, because need I remind you, they've got one of the best young wonder kids in the game as well, Fabio Carvalho. We know he's agreed to join Liverpool, they've signed him, he's going to Anfield for next year, but in the game, he's not, so you can keep him. And that means as I show you the team here and the players that are currently loaned in and loaned out, only one player loaned in I should say, and Nico Williams from Liverpool. The other few players, their deals that come at the end of the year, I would let every single one of them go, apart from, you know who, yep, Fabio Carvalho. He's the only player I give a new contract to. If you're playing for realism, you might want to sell him. If you're not, keep him. Simple as that, keep him. This guy's got 86 potential. He's an absolute star young player in this game. He's just 18 years old. So in terms of players put on the transfer list, quite a few of them. Fabrizio and Tim Ree, and the players in their 30s. Cabano, Seri, Michael Hector, Joe Bryan as well, and also Alfie Mawson too. All these players are either in their late 20s or 30s. I would sell them all in the first season. Fulham have a really nice mix of decent young players, but also senior players, and also players in their prime as well. But there's a few deadwood players here. I'd also recommend selling Anthony Knockaert. I'll be totally honest here and hold my hands up, I forgot to put him on the transfer list, but I recommend selling him too. But Fulham have an abundance of players here. It's a really thick squad, which is very important for the championship, but you don't need them all, and I would personally sell a few of them here, especially those players that are in their late 20s or 30s. Just get whatever transfer fee you can, because you'll notice a lot of these players are on really, really high contracts by a championship standard team. For example, Seri is on 37 grand a week. He's 74 rated and 29 years old. And don't get me wrong, in real life, that's fine. But in the game, you can find much younger players with much higher potential that are going to be on like a third of those wages. 37 grand a week is mental for a player. You know, Seri's ability, and he's got ability to be in the first team. But again, because the wages are so high, personally, these guys are going to be squad players in season 1 and beyond. I'd just sell them. Whatever money you can get, just get their salaries off the books. That's the most important thing. But for new signings with Fulham, well, I would recommend a new centre-half. You're going to sell Hector, you're going to sell Ream, you're going to sell Mawson, you might sell Congolo as well. You are going to need a new centre-half or two, and I would really recommend this guy. It's Japhet Tanganga of Spurs. Now, you'll look at him here and say, I thought you wanted a centre-half. He's a wing-back. Well, yes, his listed position is wing-back, but he's much, much, much better as a centre-half. There are several players in this year's game who are playing in positions where they might reflect where they play in real life, but they're suited to a different role. And Tanganga, with the stats he's got here, is a much better centre-half than he is a wing-back. He's got medium-high work rates, and he's good enough to play right-back in this team. But as a centre-half, 87 jumping, 83 strength, 87 aggression, great base defensive stats. He's far better as a centre-half. So I'll bring him in. You can sign him for a round evaluation. Spurs have an abundance abundance of good defenders in their team and convert them to centre-half straight away. You won't regret it. Trust me on that. Now, the Michael Hector deal fell through. We did sell Seri. We got a bid here for Alfie Mawson from Galatasaray as well. And you'll notice what I decided to do as well with Fabio Carvalho was change his position from attacking mid to left wing. Now, one of the reasons I love Carvalho in this game is because he's really versatile. Now, this guy primarily is an attacking midfielder, but he can play on the right side of the wing, he can play as an inside forward on the left, or he could even play as a false nine. But with Mitrovic up top, you know you're going to keep the big Serbian who this year broke the championship goal scoring record. So, in my opinion with Carvalho, you can either keep him as a CAM or play him on the left hand side. You've got Harry Wilson on the right with a left foot. I'll keep him as an inside forward on the right, but I'd personally sell Cabano and retrain Carvalho to left wing as an inside forward. He's got the finishing stat to do that. It'd be a really, really solid inside forward, and I'd look for a new attacking midfielder. More on that in a moment. I'd also recommend a new left back though. Obviously, you're probably going to sell Joe Bryan in season 1. Now, you do have the American Anthony Robinson, English-born American Anthony Robinson, really good young left wing back, but you can get someone with more potential for the future, and this guy's one of the best left backs you can buy in the game for the future. It's Aaron Hickey, the former Hearts left back, now making a name for himself in the Serie A with Bologna. He starts off 73 rated, so he's actually a rating lower than Anthony Robinson, but he's got far more potential than the English-born American international. Yeah, 19 years old, so he's 4 years younger, and he's got 85 potential as well. With high work rates and a 5-star week for this guy, could either play right back or left back. The choice is yours, but I would personally keep him at left back. And as you can see here, he is a rating lower than Anthony Robinson, but being 4 years younger with much higher potential, I'd put the American international on the bench and have Hickey as your new starting left back. And for signing that new attacking midfielder, I just had to bring this guy back to Craven Cottage. Now, Fulham in recent years have had a brilliant history of developing young talent who have gone. Fabio Carvalho has gone to Liverpool, Ryan Sessegnon went to Spurs, Patrick Roberts' career stalled as we know, but he had so much hype as a youngster, moving on to Manchester City. And don't forget about this guy. I believe he became Fulham's youngest ever player at 15 years old. I think there's a stat he was either the youngest player for Fulham at 15 or he was the youngest player in a competition at 15. Even so, young player made his debut for Fulham, and that's Harvey Elliott. Yup, Elliott was a really good young talent that Liverpool knew all about, so they signed him from Craven Cottage. I'd bring him back to Craven Cottage. Yep, it's not what you'd call realistic, but you can get him for under the valuation. We spent just £6 million for his return to Craven Cottage. This guy had a loan spell at Blackburn very recently, but right now at Anfield, I would bring him back on 15 grand a week for 6 million. It's an absolute bargain. He might have lost his top knot, but he's not lost his potential. Yep, Harvey Elliott has 87 potential. He's an amazing young English talent in the game, and just like Harry Wilson, just like Fabio Carvalho, I love the fact that all three of these players can play through the middle as an attacking mid, or on the wing as a left-footed player, as a left winger, or an inside forward on the right, replacing Harry Wilson. To me, though, what I would do is keep Wilson on the right-hand side as an inside forward, push Carvalho out to left wing as an inside forward of a right foot, and have Harvey Elliott, as your new attacking midfielder in this team. Again, the choice is yours what you want to do with those three there. They're all interchangeable. You could have natural wingers with Carvalho on the right and Wilson on the left. You could have Carvalho through the middle, or Elliott on the left, or Wilson on the left and the other on the right. It's your choice. Really, they're all very versatile and interchangeable, but personally I think the best setup would be Carvalho on the left with the inside forward on the right, Wilson on the right with the inside forward the left foot, and Elliott through the middle. I also recommend recalling Zambo as well. He's currently out on loan at Napoli right now, the Camerooni international, but you can get him back for a very small fee, and at 79 rated, the guy's got more than enough ability to go right into your first 11 in this team and play alongside Harrison Reed. Amazing defensive based midfielder, great player, and I'd definitely recall him. There's no point in him being out on loan at Napoli right now. Yes, they're paying their wages, but if you can afford to recall him, do it. Great player. And you'll also see we sold Cabano to Internacional of Brazil as well for 2.6 mil. I couldn't sell Michael Hector though, man. This guy just kept on turning down every single deal. He's like, I want to go back out on loan. If you know about Michael Hector, then you'll know this guy spent practically his entire career playing out on loan. It's incredible. First, when he was at Reading, he had so many loan spells in the Football League. Then at Chelsea, he had like an abundance of loan spells after the bizarre signing Chelsea made. played. And he's just always been a lone player, really, Michael Hector. But I would get rid of him in the first season, and in the end, how incredible was this? So I decided to bring in a new centre-back here, and you'll know all about him, I'm sure. It's Tanguy Nianzou of Bayern Munich. Amazing young French talent with 85 potential. And Bayern Munich wanted Michael Hector. I couldn't sell him, but I swapped him to the Allianz in exchange for Nianzou. He's actually the same rating as Nianzou, but of course Tanguy has far more potential at 19 years old. He's got 85 potential in total, and I love that. Can you imagine, like, Michael Hector, he's just a Football League type of player, but you know, in this world, he would have played for Chelsea and Bayern Munich. That's unbelievable. That's the stuff you dream of as a Football League player. Somehow, getting moves to European champions, both in Chelsea and Bayern Munich, is incredible. But I signed Nianzou, as a new centre-half here to be a backup for Tosin, and also the new man, Japhet Tanganga, as well. But of course, in the future, he could easily be a starting centre-half in this team. And one of the final signings I made was this guy right here, Rayan Shirky of Lyon, another great young French talent. I didn't have a full scout report on the guy initially, but I did see that Bologna were about to sign him, so I was like, nope, not going to let that happen. I'm going to bring him in. I tried to swap Lyon a couple of players here in exchange for Shirky to soften the transfer fee. Unfortunately, as you'll see, they just weren't interested in the players I was offering, but they did say we could take in front of the valuation plus a 1% sell-on clause of 5.6 mil, and that is a bargain for Rayan Shirky. Why? Well, his potential is one of the highest in the game. Yep, he's got 88 potential. Whilst his starter was 73 overall, it's not the highest, but in the Championship, it's more than good enough to be a starter, if not an impact sub. And with dynamic potential, there's no reason why this guy can't get in to the 90s. Yep, he's an absolute bargain buy in this year's FIFA career mode, and I highly recommend him. So Shirky in, again, 73 rated, 17 years old. He's an amazing young winger with 5-star. He's a left-footed player as well. So yeah, amazing young talent. The stats he's got at 17, are incredible. Great young player, and as someone to fill in for either Carvalho or Elliott or Harry Wilson, if one of those three go down, I mean, you can't say no to Shirky, can you? Amazing young talent in this game. So we also sold Joe Bryan to Fenerbahce. After the signing of Hickey, we didn't need Joe Bryan anymore. Been at Fulham for so long, but you don't really need him, to be honest. Now in his mid to late 20s, I would cash in personally. We've got £3 million from the Turkish side there. And because Hickey and Robinson are both better and younger, you don't need Joe Bryan. So we sold him to Fenerbahce, and I reinvested that transfer fee, plus the little remainder of money we had on signing a new holding mid, and this is one of my favourite bargain buys in the holding mid position in this year's FIFA. It is Jan Hickey of Granada. He is 23 years old, 75 rated, but you can get him for under the valuation because his deal is up come the end of the year. Yep, he's valued at £10 million, but at 23 years old, he's got 83 potential, so he grows 8 ratings, and he's a tremendous young player to buy. At 75 overall, he'll be good enough to go right into your starting 11. Out of 83 potential, he'll be your starting holding mid for all the years you're at Craven Cottage. I really like this guy. You know, he's very physically strong, he's tall, he's the sort of player that would be perfect for this Fulham team in the 4-2-3-1 as well. And it was so funny, like, as I was doing negotiation, I was thinking, do I have enough money to bring this guy in? Well, when you talk about scraping the piggy bank, this is about as as clutch as it gets. I had to like look behind the back of the sofa for a few extra pennies to bring this guy in. I spent every single penny, the remaining money I had on this guy, but his defensive stats are amazing. Medium high work rates, he's 6 foot. This guy could easily be phased back to play centre half, to ball playing defender, but to me, I'll keep him as your starting DM alongside Zambo. Harrison Reed is just as good at 75 overall, but he's 3 years old, and Ateki has far more potential as well. Yep, really solid player and well worth bringing in if you've got the cash. So with Fulham, we sold 5 players in the end, those aging and deadwood players in their 30s and late 20s, and also signed 6 players for just under 37 mil. When you look at the talent coming in, the teenage wonder kids and the great players in their early 20s, I mean, this team has gotten so excited. And again, because Fulham are an RTG team starting in the Championship, you're going to want young talent that will be with you for all the years you're in West London. And every single player we signed has a potential of 82 or higher. Shirky 88, Elliott 87, Hickey and Nianzu 85, Teki 83 and Tanganga 82. Yep, we made this side much better, but also much, much younger as well. So as per usual, we'd simulate the end of the season with Fulham and see if we could win the championship title, just like in real life. And as you can see, heading towards the end of the season, I felt very confident we had done it, and we had indeed. Now, I don't know why my manager rating was so low at 57, because you'll see here, we won the championship title very comfortably. 28 wins in 46, top scorers with 84, and 15 points clear of the Baggies. West Bromwich Albion, who finishes runners-up. Fewest defeats with 7. It was a fantastic championship campaign, retaining the title, winning the title like in real life as well. And as you'll see in just a moment's time, in the FA Cup, as Mitrovic won the Golden Boot, shock horror, this guy's too good for the championship, man. Obviously, a few less goals than in real life, but even so. You'll see in the FA Cup as well, I was thinking, we must have had an early exit. Arsenal reached the last 16, but well, we didn't. We were asked to reach the last 16 of the Cup. That's a strong objective for a championship side, but we did that. In fact, we went one round further. We got to the quarterfinals, only to be knocked out by Manchester City. So, I don't really know why my manager rating was so low. I guess it's because the other objectives weren't hit, but the only critical objective was the domestic success. So, it's quite a surprising one, but even so, it's a successful season regardless of what the manager rating suggests. We made this team so much younger, and I mean so much younger, bringing in those teenage talents and those players in their early 20s. We shipped on some of the deadwood, and we also delivered another championship title as well. You'll see the players coming in here growing nicely. Hickey up 4 ratings, Nianzu I think grew 4 as well. Japhet Tanganga, look at this. After I changed his position from wing back to centre half, like I mentioned when we signed him, this guy can play wing back, but he's a much better centre-half. He grew 8 ratings through natural growth and position change together to 82. Overall, he is so good in this game as a budget centre-half from Spurs. We also saw Teki grew 3 ratings since coming in as well, and we also saw some more growth here for our youngsters on the, in the offensive positions. Harvey Elliott, for example, had a great season, 17 and 44 in the Championship, growing 5 ratings to 78 overall. Bring him back to Craven Cottage as a homegrown talent. And you'll also notice as well, Shirky grew 3 ratings too. Didn't play too much in the first season, but 76 overall now and again. This guy has got 88 potential, so well worth bringing in. Fabio, who extended the contract off, grew 4 ratings overall. Not a new signing, but worth showing you how he got on. Really solid first season for Fabio, and in general, this is a really exciting young Fulham team. And if you're looking for an RTG, guys, Fulham are the perfect team. You can pot them in the Premier League, which is where of course they'll be next season, or start off in the Championship, see if you can replicate their season in real life and win the Championship title. The choice is yours, but I definitely recommend them. If you're looking for an English RTG, Fulham are that team. West London rival with Chelsea, Brentford and QPR, and London rivals galore. Great young team, great recent history of developing young talent, and a great big budget for a Championship side as well. Fulham are a fantastic RTG career mode team this year. But that winning today's episode of Who's Signed For, guys. Big thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you had, then please drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for next episode of Who to Sign For very soon.